Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Shed Geek podcast. Here with friends and new opportunities.
New opportunities.
Yeah, that's the way I would
like
say it. So, man, I don't know. We need to introduce Nick. Dylan, you've been on.
That's right. Yeah.
Before, but.
Yeah, so guys, this is Nick Henley. He's a major part of our team. He helps with client relations, our production guy for video and films. A whole load of things, maybe more than he wants to. So it's good.
I'm sure. Nick, one of my favorite things about you, we used to work together for one.
We did.
But beyond that, like whenever you left and went to like Hollywood to really pursue like your just your dream, your passion. Like Dylan's talked about it before, like what you've worked on some high end stuff before. So I know you're a humble guy, so I'm just going to go ahead and ask you to step out of that bubble for a minute.
Okay.
And like tell me some of the stuff that you've worked on before in Hollywood that might be recognizable to at least some of our audience.
You don't hold back. I want to hear all the names, or I'll tell them.
And basically, too, it's not like I was doing anything super important. I was basically there to observe and PA, but we were on Dexter, the show Dexter. We did one scene in a warehouse in downtown Los Angeles, and then outside of there, they were doing a Sons of Anarchy shoot there, and they did, like, best I can remember, they exploded a garage door and a trike rolled out of there.
That's cool.
And then we stopped at the Breaking Bad set on our way out to Los Angeles and Albuquerque in New Mexico. And we got to kind of meet the cast and the crew a little bit and
That's awesome.
kind of see what all they were doing.
What film school were you in?
So we were working with the AFI program.
Yeah.
That's the American Film Institute, and they shoulder a lot of people that come out of there. It's a really nice workshop to kind of learn the trade.
And it's a lot different there, Shane. I don't know if you know. So in Hollywood, just like here, we got a laborers union and you got your construction guys. There, you're in the union, and that's what they do there. It's a different world.
I had a chance to interview Cheryl, Nicole J. Butler. I still follow her page, She Shed Cheryl, and she kind of talked about that. Actually, me and her still talk regularly. Like I messaged her the other day and like, hey, I know there's a lot going on in Hollywood, but I hope, everything's well with you. I still try to follow your page when I can. And she's like, yeah, I'm home in Chicago, and like I'm geeking out over being like, hey man, I'm like friends with She Shed Cheryl.
That's right.
Like, a Shed Geek has to be friends with She Shed Cheryl. So Dylan, obviously you've kind of talked about your story on the podcast before, talked about just how we connected. If we haven't made that clear, that was through a faith-based drug and alcohol rehabilitation initiative here in Western Kentucky. Used to work with your brother, so I worked with your brother same time I worked with Nick.
That's
It's
right.
kind of fun. Was I just working? Let's see. Were we working alongside each other? Or was I supervising then?
You were supervisor.
Was that your supervisor?
Yes.
No way. Yes. I should know this. That's terrible. We had we had 400 people in our 6 departments.
There was a lot
that we managed. Yeah, it was a lot. So I hope you thought better of me than I can remember. So I tried to do my best. But anyway, Dylan, just very cool having you on again. But what we're going to talk about today is like this new launch, this new initiative, and sort of like why we're doing it. And I'll probably do a monologue that talks about some of it, but what's this all about? What's the podcast about today?
Yeah, so it's kind of our, I guess this would be more of our showcase, the ribbon cutting opening day of Shed Geek Marketing, even though we have things in the works. And Shannon should probably speak on this, but, he's become the trusted source. So when people in the industry, they're trying to figure out things, where should I buy this or where should I buy that? Who should I, hire for this? They always come to Shannon. And so, he's just going to be now the trusted resource for marketing. You'll still be able to point people in the right directions for different things, but now you're the guy. We've got it. It's going to be awesome.
Maybe I'm the guy. Here's what I would say. Yeah, to add to that for sure is I do appreciate being a trusted resource, getting the phone calls and people just seeing the 2.5 years of work and struggle and the journey that's been put into like Shed Geek. To go into a marketing campaign. There's a lot of good marketers in this industry already, and my goal's kind of been like to come in and find new clients or not come in and like take clients, right?
Sure.
So like not this super aggressive approach at wanting to dominate. But what I'm finding is that there's it's almost a consultative bubble where people will call you whenever they get used to hearing you or interviewing people or start to find your expertise or you talk about your expertise or theirs. And I've really just like ended up in the strangest way. I didn't own a computer like until I was in my 30s. So to even be telling people I'm launching Shed Geek Marketing is a little bit surreal, but I think it's a example of a labor of love. And I'll tell you where I'm really going with this, man, is like I've always wanted to help the shed industry because that's what we started doing when Shed Geek became a resource. So it was like, well, how do I do that? Because we talk to shed companies and we talk to like products and services, but like I can't always help myself. And it's like, how do I help myself? Like I reach the shed manufacturers, the haulers, the dealers and things like that. But how do I actually help them as opposed to just having communication? And there's so many calls for like marketing and there's so much online presence nowadays. From 3D configurators to ERP systems, all these different things. And it all kind of comes back to like this, I don't know, to me, it starts as simple as a website.
Sure.
And then building a brand out from there, building a whole host of things out from there. So that's kind of how this conversation came together for the industry.
Introducing the Real Steel Bird's Mouth Notcher, the ultimate solution for shed builders, both large and small, seeking an efficient and safe way to put a bird's mouth notch in their truss. Our machine is designed to make your truss construction process easier and faster while ensuring the highest degree of accuracy and precision. At Real Steel, we understand that every shed builder has unique needs and requirements, and that's why we designed our bird's mouth notcher to be highly adjustable and customizable. It can easily accommodate angles from 15 to 45 degrees and can cut up to 1 5/8 inch deep, making it perfect for a wide range of truss configurations. Our bird's mouth notcher is powered by a 7.5 horsepower electric motor, which provides a smooth and reliable cutting experience every time. It can handle 2 boards at one time, and the boards are securely held in place by an air clamp, ensuring that your truss components stay in place while they are being notched. The cutting head features indexable knives, which means you can easily rotate the knives when they become dull, saving you both time and money in the long run. Safety is our top priority, which is why our bird's mouth notcher is equipped with a built-in dust hood that has a 4-inch port to collect sawdust, keeping your workspace clean and safe. Additionally, the angles are set by a hand crank, and we've included 2 battery-powered digital readouts that allow you to precisely measure the angle and depth of cut, so you can achieve the exact notch you need with ease. Contact us today at realsteel.com or call Darren at 570-713-0665. Real Steel, production machines for the wood industries.
So what's some of the things that we're going to offer? We'll have a whole host of things that's going to be available, but I've got the professionals here who can speak even more intelligent than I know I can on this matter. So let's just get into it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so, I don't even, I can say the names and the labels, but I also want to make sure it's understood it's bigger than this. But as far as the services, of course, you've got web design, digital ad campaigns, so your Meta platform, Google, even other things like TikTok. Shout out to Travis Beachy. He's killing it on TikTok. Love following him. Search engine optimization, that is... You've got on page and off page, so you've got that ballpark, and then there's reputation management, so all of your directories and things, and making sure everything's cohesive and you're getting reviews and everything's tight on there. And then of course we have film and photography, graphics and logos, branding guidelines, which is for anyone that you ever advertise with, making sure they have this branding guideline so they don't go outside of the bounds and they keep everything your brand and your feel, whether it's in a magazine, on a radio, so on and so forth. So whole heap of things. I think quickly what I would say is we're completely relationship based. So, we want to grow with our clients the whole time and not start out crazy and just kind of grow with them. And we grow it together and just tighten things up as we go. But I would say the one thing that's probably that separates us, which we've done so, is going to be our film campaigns. That's going to be the biggest separation factor from all of those, because there's plenty of people that are Google Ads certified, like we are, and Meta and all that kind of stuff, and can create good ad copy without using ChatGPT, do all these things. But I think our film campaigns is going to be that thing that separates us from everything else, which will only be a percentage of what we do.
Sure.
But I think that's probably where our passion lies. You would agree, Nick, for everything. So we love film projects.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, I don't know, like video's just where it's at. I mean, so I think about this in terms of communication. You can check me on this. I'm a podcast listener. I was listening to them before I started it. One of the podcasts I love to listen to is the Communication Guys. As geeky as that sounds, yeah, I listen to that, right? Yeah. So the Communication Guys, and they really talk about primary communication and secondary communication. Mm-hmm. And you think about that in the sales process as well. And that includes, what's my best opportunity to sell? Well, it's in person. It's getting in front of people, because Nick, all these cool things we learned at the casino, who offers like superior customer service compared to most organizations in the world, is, you can tell things by like the influx in people's voice. We got monitored on that very thing in our performance-based job, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea was to be able to read people's body language, be able to read people's energy in the room. And you can do that in person. But a Zoom call only allows you so many of those features, but yet it's still video. Yep. But a phone call, now you got to try to read between the lines. I'm only hearing the voice and the emotion in the voice. And a text, gosh, it's just that much even more distant, isn't it? Unless they're putting all caps and big laugh emojis, I'm not sure what they're saying to me. So I just don't think the shed industry has capitalized on the filming side, the film campaigns, you know what I mean? Like even photography, maybe the best pictures aren't always taken, or it's not taken to that level of professionalism. Sure. We have a Shed Sales Professional page specifically for that reason, right? So Shed sellers can do that. Nick, what's your thoughts on, like, video, sort of your passion?
Yeah.
So we've talked about some of the things that you've worked on, but like, what are some of the things that you see looking at the shed industry as a whole? Why will it make more of an impact? If I didn't answer your question already. So,
well, one thing I think about is like, it's just a way to kind of lift the veil and kind of learn about your business specifically and you as a person, because you can gather a lot just from a video and just who you are as a person in that manner. And you can really aim that video in a way to speak to customers and making them, as we've talked about before, the hero of everything.
That's right.
So why is that important? Making the shed shopper the hero, right? Like, you don't want to make the company the hero. You want the shopper to be the hero in the process.
Right.
Why is that important?
Most folks have a high level of selfishness, so they're not trying to hear how awesome you and your company are. They're concerned about, they want a place to put all their pool tubes and, equipment for the pool and cleaning supplies, and have a place to put that stuff. So it's flipping it around, where it's not necessarily just about the quality, the price of the shed. It's more about let us show you how you can use a shed. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of changes things. And then, of course, we want to kind of pull on those emotional heartstrings, but we want to build some sort of relational gap where, iPhone's not the cheapest phone by any stretch of imagination, but that quality's there, and that brand awareness is there, and that's more of what we're after. I want to do business with you because, man, I loved that film. I loved the heart behind the company. Great customer service. That's what I want to support, and that's what I want to be about.
Are you looking for ways to grow your business? Hi there, I'm Chad P. Wilson with NBC and Foundation Bank, and we've been helping small businesses in the shed industry for 33 years. Now, in that time, we've helped haulers buy new mules and trailers. We've made it possible for manufacturers and dealers to participate in their own rent-to-own, and have streamlined the manufacturing and sales process with our Insight software. Contact Chuck Robinson to learn more by visiting our website at foundationbank.org. NBC and Foundation Bank are a member FDIC.
Dylan, we got to kind of partner on a project before. I mean, we've maybe discussed it before, but one of those was sitting down at a huddle house and just drumming up an idea about a video. I was working with Summit Portable Buildings at the time out of Farmington. My buddy Irvin, great
Love
guy.
Irvin.
And we were like, hey, let's do a video. We're gonna do a video, and it went so well. The LP actually picked this up. We get a call from then. It was AJ Keating before Rachel took that spot. Rachel Hudson. You guys probably seen some of her articles in Shed Builder magazine or seen her around. And AJ was like, hey man, like this shed video made like some of the girls cry in our office. And we were like, man, it was like good tears, not bad tears. So, but the video, and we'll try to, if anybody wants to see the video, it has no words in it, but we were trying to do something different than just, come on down, $49.99, get you a shed
that's
today,
right? Yep, that's right.
So it was very cool. It ended up being a really good project. LP purchased a shed from Summit and donated that shed because the theory behind the commercial was to be a food pantry. Yeah. So in the county I grew up in, which is the second poorest county in Illinois, we were able to produce a food pantry through those efforts. Yeah. I think it really speaks to when you move from the heart, like how it does attach to those heartstrings of people and pulls on them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think and whenever we work on a film like that, it's figuring out, okay, let's say for instance North Carolina, which speaking with somebody, figuring out what's the heartbeat of that place and of the people, or West Virginia, coal mining, right? Coal mining industry, figuring out the heartbeat and telling a story that they can relate to, and it's just kind of a shed's in there with it, and so it's kind of pulling on those heartstrings, and I don't know, it just really gets to people. And I'd say anywhere you go, Shannon, I don't care if it's Nike, Under Armour, I don't care what it is, to create an awesome campaign, there's just a couple of people in a room brainstorming, right? Yeah. And then an idea is birthed, and then at the same time, generally like, that's the one, that's the one. And I think we just kind of have a lot of those moments, I just thinking through some of the scripts that we've thought of,
Oh yeah, it's fun to sit and brainstorm. I mean, I've said on the show multiple times, like we're created in God's image, and one of my favorite things about reading the Bible chronologically says, in the beginning God created. So the first thing you learn about his character is that he's creative, right? So like we're meant to be creative is the way that's the way I receive that. Yeah. Is he created us, and he meant us for us to be creative. So I never feel stuck. You know what I mean? Like I always feel like there's another way. Yeah. You just got to find another way to solve the problem. You just might not be able to use the one that's been shut off. Sure. But you use creativity to constantly find new avenues, new opportunities. And that can be in business, but that can be in life. It can be in a lot of different scenarios. What makes you qualified to do this? Like what makes Shed Geek Marketing, what makes us capable to go out here and say, hey, we can do this video? We just picked up a camera and thought we'd give it a shot.
Well, I mean, in a nutshell,
how it started originally, yes, but
absolutely
where we're at now, right?
In a nutshell, between Nick and I, we come from two different worlds. I come from YouTube University. He comes from an actual film university, right? And once we kind of both met and molded our knowledge together, we've been able to do something really, really cool. And that's just the short story of that. But I also want to make sure that everyone knows that a cool video or a good video is just a good video. You have to get that video out there. Whenever I used to just do film, back in the day, I only did film and photography. I'd do an awesome video and someone would post it on their Facebook page, and it'd get 61 likes, and that's it. That's it. You know what I mean? There's tens in this situations that I've seen, and there's tens and 20s and 50, 100,000 people that weren't able to see that should have and could have due to the demographics that their business targeted, right? So it's one thing to have a cool video. It's another one to take that video and throw it out there as a fishing net and start, letting people see and feel the brand. And that's just a small piece of a digital campaign, but I think it's our biggest separating factor.
Yeah. No, I like it. Animation. Tell me about animation. Like a lot of people are going to say, oh, you do animation. What's that mean though?
Yeah, animation is just something that's not, there's no cameras involved, right? So this is all done. We use it's called After Effects. And one of our guys, Nathaniel, that's just what he went to school for. He's got multiple viral posts of just a side passion hobby. He makes these Lego films. One of them's like 30 minutes long, and it's got, I don't even know how many, 50, 60,000 views, and he just uploaded it not long ago. So he's just super passionate about animations, and the creativity is endless. It's 100% endless. So anything that you want to communicate, where it may have been more expensive to do, by shooting a film and having people and, whatever all is included, we can just do this, and we can create your own cartoon characters or whatever it be, It's just neat.
No, I like it. I think it could go a long way in the shed industry when you're trying to do something that's alternative to just a traditional video. Even you can create a much larger campaign based around something fun. And that was one of my favorite moments of feedback I got on the podcast. Is like a lot of people were saying, like, man, you're bringing fun to the industry. And I really took that as a badge of honor, because it was like, everybody's so serious all the time in business and things like that. And we kind of brought this lifting tide, a rising tide lifts all boats kind of mentality taken from Tyler Mahan in his early episode. And I need to interview him again for sure. And it was just that approach, like we can all make it. So like, we're doing marketing. Ben, I still want to have marketing guys on the podcast and talk to them. You know what I mean? Like we're not coming into this thing with this mindset of competition, rather collaboration. Like we can win together.
Man, and
we do things.
We wholeheartedly believe in that. So like, I know the shed industry, and it can be
the shed industry.
It can be rough.
Somebody told me the other day, it's instead of as the world turns, it's as the shed turns.
Yeah, it's rough. Now, me and Nick's experience, especially locally, like all of the marketing companies, we work together here. There's enough fish in the pond. Like we can all eat. We don't have to steal your clients and fight for them and solicit them. I mean, we work for probably the largest marketing company in Western Kentucky. We do their film and photography, and there's plenty of opportunities where if we wanted to solicit them, hey, we could do this cheaper. There's all those opportunities, but it's not about that. We have a great long-standing relationship with those people, and we love working together. So we don't get to see that crazy side. You know what I mean? We don't get to see that side. So I would like to stay away from it, Shane. I'd like to stay away from it.
Well, good luck. I hope that it happens for you.
That's right.
And I've done my best as well, but sometimes, it would just stay off of that. The negative side. The only way you can really overcome that is with a positive mindset. And I think creativity. I think that if you just say, you know what, I'm going to go out and let your work stand for itself, or you know what I mean? Like let your character build itself. I've never had to defend my character if I'm doing the right thing, right? I've only had to defend my character when I wasn't. One of the pastors that we listen to says, if you're guilty, if you're innocent, you'll always ask for forgiveness or grace. You ever notice that? You'll make a position to be like, hey, wait, I'm innocent.
Yeah.
I'm innocent of this. You know what I mean? And you always want to defend that.
Yeah.
Because you're innocent of it. You want to tell everybody. Some people will tell you the best thing to do is just be quiet, right?
Sure.
It's hard to do. But on the opposite side of that, when you're guilty, what do you want? You want grace and forgiveness.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Just hearing your testimony, it's like, hey, I was wrong. I need forgiveness. I'm not trying to defend myself.
Sure.
I admit I need forgiveness on this. So anyway, we'll get away from that. There's still so many good things in the industry. It's such a loving, caring industry. And whenever you meet some of the people, getting to go out and they're like, hey, you want to park your RV here for the night? Or take you out to eat? And I'm like, hey, you don't have to do that. And it's so kind. Tossing me a hat, giving me a shirt. I'm always trying to order more Shed Geek shirts and hats and cups to give out to people and stuff, just as a thank you. Website. We can do websites. So
absolutely.
I think it starts there, but what does, and then it builds out from there. What does it mean? This has been my philosophy on websites. You guys tell me yours. If you're trying to open up a shed lot, you're trying to find a high traffic area, 4-lane, somewhere that a ton of people are going to see you.
Yeah.
What good does it do to have a website that's not seen because it's your online shed lot?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
You want to be in front of everybody.
Yeah, no, it is. I would honestly say it is pointless to have a website if you have no way to get traction and traffic to it. It's no point. That's your digital storefront, and it should reflect everything about your company. And generally, if somebody's building the first time website, their new company, you've got to run paid ads to get people to it, constantly posting on social media, and then all while that's going on, work on your search engine optimization and trying to build up and overcome the competition on Google and Bing and Yahoo and all the things. So, there's not too many ways around that.
Hello, shed sellers. Let's take a moment to discuss the shed customer and meeting their expectations. I remember growing up in the neighborhood where a certain percentage of the houses had well-manicured lawns and well-manicured homes. These were the type of individuals who felt it was important to purchase a well-constructed home or vehicle, or maybe equipment to help maintain the quality of the item. As shed manufacturers, we seek to provide a well-built quality shed. We want the customer to feel satisfied that their hard-earned money has been well spent on a product that will last. At LuxGuard, we believe adding high-quality rubber flooring to your line of sheds makes sense to the customer and adds value the customer can appreciate. With each year, sheds are becoming more complex. The customizations we are seeing are virtually endless. LuxGuard not only gives a complimentary aesthetic appearance for their shed, but also protects the floor from spills and keeps cleanup simple. Offer your customer the customer service they seek with LuxGuard. At LuxGuard, we are committed to delivering exceptional customer service and innovative products to help our customers achieve their goals. We strive to meet the evolving needs of the customers. To speak with one of our ready-to-serve customer product specialists, simply call 336-468-4311. To see our product and view an installation video, just visit our website at luxguard.com. LuxGuard, the floor that lasts a lifetime.
So what's your advice to somebody when they're website shopping?
What do you mean?
Like what would your biggest piece of advice be? One of the things that I would tell people is own your domain. Let's start there. I've heard horror stories of like people who are like letting people do their marketing or whatever, and they don't even own their domain. So I mean, now all of a sudden, whenever you decide not to do business with that person, everything you've built goes away, because and that comes back to this little 5-letter word called trust, which is what you have to build with your clients, because you're going to lose some clients at some point, but they're going to talk and they're going to tell people
100%
about what their experience was, even if it wasn't the best experience. Did I trust them? Not the results. Did I trust them? That's all. So to me, owning that domain is the first thing I tell people right off the bat. I can't believe you don't own your domain. You've got to.
We just dealt with it with a concrete company, a local concrete company, and won't even get into it. Anyway, they couldn't get their domain from somebody. And that was it. They had to come up with another domain that wasn't the one that they wanted.
Or pay the cost, right, to get it.
Well, that wasn't even on the table in this case. Wow. But most people, if like a marketing company sets it up for you and you end up just leaving one day or whatever, $5,000 and you can have it from us because we own it, which I think is ridiculous. I don't care if we did a bad job for somebody.
Hold that over someone.
No, that's like I said, I've heard some really, really bad horror stories over a period of 8 or 9 years, and that's just some of the things that really surprise you. So, if we're trying to build a website for them, we want to start there, but we also want to start with just figuring out their vision.
That's right.
I think the whole key is not coming in and saying, hey, you're going to do this and this is the best thing to do. It's like, let's sit down and talk with you and figure out what your vision is and try to make that happen.
Absolutely. And I think, we were just on a call and it wasn't necessarily about, hiring a marketing company. They wanted to do it in-house. So how can we help train your team? How can we help train your team to be successful in-house and always be there for y'all when you call? All those things are options. It's a bigger picture. And gosh, even all the way to, hey, we're getting you people to reach out. We're requesting quotes. They're doing your lead forms. They're messaging you online. But your ending process, your sales process isn't solid. You're not able to close them, and even helping in that end, because we want the success to pass our efforts and go into your bank account all the way through.
And what I think about, like with that phone call and several others we've had, even though we haven't really launched, and we're doing that now here today. That's what this podcast is about.
Sure.
We've had some conversations with people, and mainly those come up because people reach out and they say, hey, tell me what you think about this or this situation. And it's like, it's obvious to me that what a lot of people are wanting to do is try to be vertically integrated in a lot of ways. So they want their marketing to be able to be integrated in-house too. So, no one wants to put themselves out of work, but information is valuable, right? And you gather all this information and you give it away, and there's no way to make a living there. So marketers are like, wait a minute, I don't want to take my life's work and just give to you for free. But and we're in the same boat. I mean, there's no different. You don't want to take your information and your experience and then say, here, it's free of charge all the time.
Sure.
The podcast does a lot of that because it has people on that just discuss and talk about these different things that you can benefit from without ever paying. Yeah. But if you're going to hire a marketing company, maybe the idea is that you need guidance. Yeah. So, if you want to call us in the position to say, hey, from a consulting perspective, we want to do it in-house.
Sure.
You guys could probably get us the results. That's fine. But what if we just call you and learn from you along the way? Maybe there's a retainer fee so there's a lot of options out there. It's not as much about going in and saying, let's garner all the business as much as it is, let's make this pie bigger, because everybody eats a little better when there's more available.
100%.
Yeah, I mean,
love it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just my mindset. So I'll probably do a monologue on this episode, just kind of speak one-on-one to the industry, because I did that before. I was real worried about it. I had a couple of phone calls that day of encouragement from people that said, hey, I love the new. And I'm not going to do that a lot, but every now and then I just want to speak to them individually. But what's y'all's thoughts on Shed Geek Marketing? So it'll be live by the time this podcast comes out. You'll just be able to go to shedgeek.com, click on the Shed Geek Marketing tab.
Be a big green button.
Yeah, be able
big
to,
orange button.
Otherwise, obviously, contact me if you guys are interested, any questions, or you just, we'll get the right account manager with you to make sure to answer all your questions. I'll be involved along the way, and definitely want to make sure that, for me, it's about relationship building. I live very public. So the one thing I know, and I mentioned on the phone call, is like people talk. And that's not just the shed industry, that's every industry. So, if it's reviews, I mean, they're going to give you the honest reviews when they're with their friends, and living publicly, I kind of have some accountability, both good and bad. So, I mean, obviously we want to do a good job.
Absolutely.
If not, that word gets around pretty quick.
Quick.
Anyway, what's you guys' thoughts on, before I get to a monologue, or if I do it beforehand, for Shed Geek Marketing, or to the shed industry in general?
Yeah, I think, I'm very excited about it. I've always been oddly connected to the shed industry. I mean, for years, 5-6 years at this point, and I just seem, it's so connected, but
draws you in.
Kind of. Being around you all the time, there's some things that I'm a little bit hesitant about the shed industry. But
hey, man, I walk a thin line every day of my life. It feels like you can't make everybody happy, though.
That's right.
When it comes down to it, you just can't. You'll make yourself miserable trying to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I just I just want to keep, like I said, we're not trying to step on any toes. Right. We're here to come in and do it long term and build relationships with people. And I would honestly say, Shannon, you'd agree with me, like the work quality, that's great, but like building relationships, going around the country, meeting these people, getting to know them, and doing a great job, and being loyal to each other, and just being a helping hand, right? That's the bigger picture, and for everybody to eat.
Man, that's the, I don't know if that's the message of ministry, but in a sense, if you take the gospel and break it down, take care of each other, really. And business is just one of those ways that you can do that.
Sure.
It sounds hokey maybe to some people, because, there's exchange of money and ideas and professionalism and things like that. And there's sometimes hard feelings whenever things don't work out. But when it's all said and done, I mean, love your enemies, right?
Yeah.
Pray for them. So it doesn't matter even if you got to lay your head down at the end of the night. It's a beautiful thing about what God did is He made us sleep at the end of the night, and He said, "Don't go to bed on your anger." I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I mean that's one of the most beautiful things, because you have to accept that you're going to bed on your anger each night that you do it.
Yeah.
Right? Or else, you got to square with yourself. You know why? Because there's no one else around in your head.
Yeah.
It's only you laying down on your pillow, and you're like, man, got to make a situation right or whatever. Put your best effort out there, I always say. And yeah, I totally hear what you're saying, man. I've had to walk a thin line. And whenever you are kind of living publicly like this a little bit, you're putting yourself constantly out there in vulnerability. It's very difficult. And look, I'm not Tom Cruise here. Like, let's slow this down a little bit. You know what I mean? You start a podcast in the shed industry, but people enjoyed it. You know what I mean? And then they talk to you, and for whatever reason, build a lot of relationships through that.
Yeah.
Give me a token and tell people I'm the Shed Geek, and the token's the only thing going to get me on a bus. I promise you. People don't care that you're the Shed Geek. But inside the industry, when you're trying to learn about your trade and stay educated, it's neat and it's a resource. So you always have to say, like, well, I want to eat too, right? So how do I do that and still provide value?
Right.
Whatever gets brought into question, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Make your troubles known to the Lord and pray to Him. And hey, man, He takes care of the birds of the air. He'll take care of me too.
That's right.
Hello, Shed Sellers. Did you get a chance to view the Real Work Labs interview featuring George Converse? If not, be sure to check out the episode, where you can see a condensed demo during the interview. Just go to the Shed Geek Podcast YouTube channel and type in Real Work Labs. George and the team at Real Work Labs have received an influx of interest and new signups, and they are already working to provide real results. Real Work Labs shapes the way customers find you online. We are a software company that helps shed sellers like you get found where the customers live, not where your shed lot is. Our mobile app in the field hooks into your website, so your work and Google reviews are getting found on the map on location. That way, you drive more revenue, higher conversion rates, and true word-of-mouth referrals online. It's time to put your reviews on the map and leave a digital yard sign at your job sites using Real Work Labs. For more information, just go to shedgeek.realworklabs.com or simply call or text 480-787-7575. Mention the Shed Geek Podcast for special pricing and get a 50% discount on setup today.
So appreciate you guys being on here today. We'll do a monologue. If you guys want to know more about Shed Geek marketing, just go to shedgeek.com. You're going to be able to see all that's there. Ask questions. Call me. If you're with a shed company already right now, if you're with a marketing company, look, we're not coming in trying to peel you away by any means. We'll take you on. We'll take you on, but only if you've ended that relationship right. We're not looking to, steal people away or nothing like that. And we want to take the approach to be friendly and in collaboration with our competition. I don't even like the word.
I don't either.
With those who work in the same area as us. So anyway, appreciate
Praise
you
the
guys.
Lord.
Yeah, that's right. Appreciate y'all joining me today. And like I'm telling you guys, you just have to meet these guys. Their demeanor's really good, but their expertise is top of the line and second to none. So you'll find out all about that whenever I'm not around, and you still get to talk to them. So thanks for listening today. We appreciate it, guys.
Hey, Shed Industry. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to continue to do this, and thank you for listening to today's episode featuring myself hosting Dylan Street and Nick Henley, some of the absolute best guys that I know. And I just wanted to take this moment to do a small monologue to kind of ad-lib and to just kind of expand on today's episode and just some thoughts in general. Hope that you will enjoy a few of these, as I do have some of these coming around monologues, but also some panel interviews with just different ideas. One future episode that's coming up is it's going to feature a shed hauler, a shed manufacturer, and a shed seller, and we're just going to get in the ring, and we're gonna box it out. We're gonna get into those conversations that might create conversations that make your day more educational and entertaining and relatable, and maybe solve some problems, or maybe at least discuss them and keep things relatable. But I wanted to take the moment today to do a small monologue talking about the launch of Shed Geek Marketing. And if we didn't cover that already in the episode, I just really want to drive that point home on a couple of different areas. So I jotted down a few notes. If you got a few moments to listen, I'll do my best to sort of reach you here at 11 o'clock at night at home, as I just continue to love what I do, man. And this is just another representation of that opportunity, and that God's actually provided that opportunity for me to be able to move into new directions with new potential sources of revenue. And on behalf of my family, we say thank you. First and foremost, we kind of touched on it in the episode, but trust. And I think trust is the absolute paramount ingredient in any relationship that you're going to engage into. I certainly hope that you guys see through the accountability in which I have to hold myself to living in this public space of addressing the shed industry, that we intend to do business from a perspective of trust. I think that when that ingredient's missing, it really makes it difficult to perform well. And we just want to make sure that we're able to be a trusted resource and a trusted partner for you if you're considering using our services. Marketing and ROI, we really didn't get into the discussion of ROI and the return on your investment and how you're spending your money wisely to be able to achieve the best resources. And those are just conversations, some that we have to have privately. A discovery call would go a long way to kind of be able to talk to us and talk to the professionals in this space. And I definitely want to be on that phone call every step of the way with you to build a relationship. So if you're interested in just some of what we're talking about and getting into a deeper conversation, that all starts with a discovery call. We're not holding you anything, no commitment. Just want to talk to you and find out, is what we do what you're looking for, and does it make sense? If not, we both move on, and we still encourage each other. In short, I really think that we really hit on one of the things that we're real passionate about, and that's creating video. I just feel like there's such a wide open space for that in the industry yet to go from a marketing capacity. And the one thing me and Dylan specifically really love is being able to sit down and creatively hash out that vision for that. So just wanted to reiterate that. I mean, our goal in the end, if you're a shed manufacturer, is to help you, sell more sheds or create your brand. If you're a shed seller, obviously, the same thing, a shed hauler. If you're looking for, a website or a way to expand your digital footprint, it's just something that we want to find out what your vision is and figure out how we can connect on that and grow that with you. On a personal note, just who I do business with, you guys have got a chance to meet Dylan and Nick through this. And, there's so many good folks in this industry that already perform in the area of marketing. And a podcast makes it very difficult to break away from a marketing campaign. We're almost listed in marketing and advertising in every category in which people can ask me for why we do business and how we do business, or how we describe ourselves. Marketing is the category that we always fall under. So it's sort of a natural progression to fall into this space as well. Great guys, great companies working in this industry already, guys. E-Impact, Jim Mosier, Shed Marketer, YDOP, some of these guys that have been on the show do a phenomenal job. and would be happy to collaborate with them in any capacity. And, so why Dylan, why Nick? And a lot of this stems back from, my roots in ministry and trying to create community through faith-based drug and alcohol rehabilitation, which is how me and Dylan met. And, I'd be happy to partner with any of those guys. All of them are doing an exceptional job, and we love them and want to continue to have them on the show again, and create collaboration where it makes sense. But why is because I really believe in this guy. It was really exciting to see Dylan come into my Shed office when he was considering leaving his job to pursue this full time. And he did. He rented out a space in the Shed office, in which where I sold sheds and kind of created my own brand through Shed Geek. And this guy's just killed it, man. He's done a phenomenal job. And for me, seeing the restoration in his life and his family and the community and how it's affected that, in short, that's why we're connecting to do this. And I just want to see the guy continue to grow. He's went way beyond what I ever expected was even possible. And that just goes to show that my vision for how God could use him was way smaller than what God's was. And to hear this guy's testimony, man, you guys should call on Atlee Stewart. We got to get a chance to go out and speak to Affordable Buildings, and they didn't even get a chance to hear his entire testimony just because we went long that day. But, it's very powerful, and so to be able to walk alongside him and watch what God's done in his life from being in not such a good place as a young, rebellious youth to just where he is now as a leader in the community, a leader in the marketing departments that he's in. He's all the clients that he has even outside of the shed industry was just something that continued to draw me and him back together to work somehow both in and outside of ministry. So that's why, for whatever reason, I feel the need to explain that. And, business is built off relationship. And I think that mine and Dylan's relationship, and even Nick's as a former employee of mine, sort of shows the longevity and what relationship means to me for those that are willing to continue to pursue it. It means everything to me. And being a trusted resource, gosh, that just humbles me because, whenever we set out to initially do a podcast, it was really just because, man, I love the stories. I love going from one place to the next and hearing the stories. And I just thought to myself, somebody needs to record this. So I really appreciate those words by Dylan or anybody else who would think that. We want to remain humble through this process and knowing that these gifts are given to us and they can be taken at any time. So I always want to make sure to point our talents or professionalism or professional skills or whatever it is towards our maker who gave us that opportunity. And I would say to that, wrapping up here on this monologue here for Shed Geek Marketing is, if you've ever trusted me to be a suggested resource, or advertisers who have come on, guests who have come on the show, we're 2.5 years in, we're 80,000 listens in, we're 150 shows in, and we're trying to work on a 5-year plan to set up for long-term, and just kind of continue to see if God blesses this, opens the door, wants to have us here, that we want to keep doing this. If you see the show as a suggested resource for your marketing needs, I would just ask you to consider allowing me to suggest myself in this process. So if you do want to work with us, the only difference is we're just entering that space. It's not to take away, but it's to work alongside an already growing industry and be able to offer value that we feel like is a space that we can offer. We don't have any current advertisers, in that space, in the marketing space for Shed Geek Podcast. So For those or any of them that have advertised, we have tried to make it a point to talk to those companies about what we're doing, and be nice to receive their blessing, and in many respects we have. For those we haven't talked to, we'd certainly would welcome that conversation, and just know that you're welcome on the podcast anytime. It's not us against others. It is us against ourselves. I wrote a Facebook post tonight that said it's not really you against a competitor. It's you waking up every day, competing against yourself, trying to do more, trying to be better, trying to fight against your laziness, your lack of vision, your lack of execution. And that's honestly that's just the line of thinking that I subscribe to. And I don't plan to change that for any reason anytime soon. So, God bless you guys. Appreciate you listening. If you feel like we're the right person for the job, feel free to give us a call. We'll do a discovery call. We certainly want to do right by you. I've been searching for 2.5 years to try to find a way to service this industry. And maybe this is the start of many things to come, but it's at least the one we're going to focus on over the next year, getting off the ground. So appreciate you guys so much. Just really thank you for listening. And while I don't do this often, I want to take the moment to do a prayer here at the end of this monologue. Lord, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for these people that listen. Thank you for the Shed industry. Thank you for the Shed customer. Thank you for the Shed haulers. We pray that you keep them safe. Thank you for the Shed Expo. It's coming up soon, and we certainly hope we pray for safe travels to and from, and for relationships to just build and grow stronger while there. Ask that you pray over my family, and ask that you'd pray over the just bless the families in this wonderful industry that's given us a really good opportunity to do what we do. At the end of the day, it's business. God, we know that. And really our business should be about your work, and just help take the blinders off in areas that we don't see that, and help us to make that more paramount in our daily activities and our daily goals, to try to get in front of brothers and sisters and love them the way that you've loved us, and forgive them the way that you've forgiven us. We thank you, God, for everything that you do, continue to do. We appreciate you so much. We love your son, Jesus. Amen. Thank you guys so much for hearing me out today. Wishing you a successful day, whatever you're doing.